Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War II, World at War. It is October of 1945, China's surrendered, Russia's surrendered, Germany has begun an invasion of England, a very tenuous invasion, kind of a just feeling the enemy out sort of a scenario with just a handful of units. Nonetheless, that's the situation in 1945. India is also on the verge of falling, and the Allies offered a peace term last turn that we turned down mainly because we wanted to reduce India before we actually agreed to any kind of peace. So it'll be interesting to see if they offer peace again, if India falls. If it doesn't generate a peace proposal, then we'll probably take this invasion force here that we're building up in Japan, sail it all the way south, and try to take out Australia. Meanwhile, the Americans do seem to be sending quite a few amphibious forces here somewhere. They're in some sort of shuttle service, maybe toward New Guinea, maybe toward Rabaul. We're not really sure, but we hit them with some maritime bombers and did some damage on the first of their transports. We also positioned some battleships between them and potentially their objectives, so we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, we've taken Cairo and Egypt has fallen. We've reinforced Italian Libya and are about to move west to counterattack there to see if we can retake the North African coast. And we're also going to be driving into the heart of the British Empire toward Khartoum with German tanks and mechanized forces in an effort to break up other parts of the British Empire. We just declared war on Nepal because I thought it would lead me to an easier route into India toward Delhi, but unfortunately, it doesn't really look like it so far. And that's the situation right now. So with that being said, it's October. We're going to move into November, and we'll see what materializes here. The Axis plunder 25 MPPs from Calcutta. Oh yeah, from down here. Partisan activity in Shanghai, Manchuria. And we're hindering supply on Crete. Allied, looks like those are Dutch submarines are raiding some Japanese convoys. Germany's developing anti-submarine warfare technology. Japan's making progress there, and as well as command and control. And the Axis economies continue to move forward despite substantial Allied strategic bombing. The German Empire, with the conquest of Russia, is just too vast for the Allied strategic bombing campaign to have any near-term effect. Meanwhile, the Allies just lost a garrison at London, but they replaced it with a corps, so we weren't able to take London, and as a result, the Allies are now even stronger in London than they were before, with the exception that the corps they moved in immediately attacked our heavy tanks and failed to break through. We do have some huge supply challenges, however, in England, and so that's going to be a problem for us to try and overcome here, again, because we don't have any headquarters units ashore yet, which means that we get very limited supply unless we take like a supply center, but we haven't been able to take any supply centers yet, and as a result, we're in a bit of a dicey situation here. British cruisers just knocked out a German transport near Bombay. British submarines attacking some motor torpedo boats here in the Channel. Strategic bombing of Pilsen, which actually has level 3 anti-aircraft now. It does seem like their strategic bombers are not quite as effective. In the past, the strategic bombers basically leveled the city if there was no AA there, and now they're only doing 1 damage there, so that's good, I guess. Meanwhile, the Allies are attacking toward Portsmouth, doing some damage to a German paratrooper unit there. You know, one thing I didn't think about was I could order the paratroopers to prepare and then paradrop them into France, so they could replenish their strength there, and then I could replace the troops in Portsmouth with that new Romanian army there. That would be an interesting little tactic. Guys, we're going to paradrop into friendly territory. Who does that? The one frustrating thing with this game is the way it handles submarine combat is basically impossible to ever sink any meaningful number of enemy submarines. It worked out for us a little bit in the early war years, but since then has become very frustrating as the main Allied naval unit that we can't seem to do anything about. I mean, theoretically, air units can attack them, but the problem is it feels like they dive half the time, and you only ever do 1 or 2 damage to them anyway. But that does it for the turn. So we're into the winter months in the channel, which means probably rough weather, which will limit our air ability. I'm guessing England is socked in with rain. We lost the 11th Garrison Troop Transport off India. That was sunk. Japan has the 22nd Naval Flotilla Maritime Bombers, which are coming online. We'll move them over here. Meanwhile, we've spotted some American transports at sea, so we're going to try and knock them out. Got him! Okay, I don't know where the other guy went. Still got one down here. It's interesting that there don't appear to be any enemy escorts at any enemy aircraft in Australia. Alright, so we've got some SNLF forces advancing with no real logistical support. Advancing nonetheless here, taking this northern corner of Australia. These German subs are going to pull back, trying to get them back to Penang. Nice. So the British didn't send reinforcements to Bombay, so that's good for us. Those troops will move into Bombay. Bombay should provide some supplies. We'll move these paratroopers north toward Jodhpur. Bombay should be secure from assault. Yeah, we'll attack here. Destroy him. And move this corps toward Delhi. We'll also attack this American headquarters unit there. Pull back one. Very nice. Do we want to try and bomb them at all? Doesn't look like it would be wise. Jeez. Enemy jets must be very active. Alright, so we'll advance. Well, alright, we'll attack Allahabad. These guys will advance there. We'll advance on Agra. Okay. Alright, so that British tank here in India has not replaced its losses. And now we just destroyed it. So we'll take this town. We'll advance south from Calcutta. Just gotta move into Calcutta. These guys need reinforcements. Okay. Need to move our headquarters units forward here to keep pace with the advance. Alright, let's go for these troops down here in the south because it doesn't seem like the enemy air cover is in range. So we'll hit their supply first. Then we'll hit their troops. Is that everybody? We need to reinforce these fighters. I think that's all of our air units down here. There we go. Got him. So we'll advance these SNL forces south. With that, we'll advance these German armored units. And the Japanese and the Germans are incredibly close to linking up here in southern India. Okay. Kathmandu, meanwhile, will probably be attacked. Well, we already did attack it. Continue the attacks next turn, I think. The 19th Corps will advance this away. And there you go. So there are British naval assets in the area we need to be mindful of. Theoretically, they could swoop in behind us. Okay, the Italians are dealing largely with unoccupied western portions of India, but it'll probably pin the Indian army here at Multan. Meanwhile, the American supply situation may get worse due to losing heavy casualties in the Eckluberger headquarters unit. And we can cut India in two next turn. So I think the Indian front, that was a big breakthrough this turn here in November. Things went well there. Japanese Navy needs to replenish, though. So let's go ahead and reinforce these guys. Need to reinforce some air units, too. Light cruiser there. I think the max you can repair a ship in a single turn is 5. That battleship was at 10 before, wasn't it? It's down to 6. We'll see if they can replenish at Puzan. Meanwhile, these carriers are going to take 2 turns. One for the carrier hull, one for the air wing, or at least one of them will. This one will as well. So we'll go with the carrier hull first. Okay. All right. That carrier can't be reinforced above level 8 at that port. So Japan's Navy largely repairs there. There's an American sub over here, and of course, just as I said, he dives from attack. Now, the good news is he still took damage. No damage there, unfortunately. So we already destroyed that one American unit at sea. What's their navy at? There were 24 last turn. They're 29. They've got ships coming off the slips like they're going gangbusters. Okay. Scouting out ahead of an eventual naval movement, surely. You know, once we take India, we're going to have a lot of troops with not a lot to do. All right. These troops are going to stay in Cairo. They're going to upgrade this turn their weapons. That was kind of expensive. Anyway. Enemy contact! Enemy tanks! Alright, can we hit him? Damn! Alright, so we'll move this armor toward Eligala. We'll move this headquarter unit here as well. And maybe we can knock out the 254th Indian tank unit here in the desert. These guys are reined in. These guys are going to move south to the national morale objectives. So that does it for the Med. This guy's going to move to Jerusalem on the coast. I don't think we have any new units this turn. So we'll leave those guys in place. And then on the French theater here, interesting. Our air is socked in, theirs is not. Alright, so we're going to move. Kind of joked about what we would do with our paratroopers, but we're going to pull them back out of this theater. What's their supply situation? Supply level 1? I don't want to get more troops killed than we need to. Okay. God damn it. Why can't they just drive those fuckers back? These guys are going to be without supply next turn. So all of my air is socked in because of bad weather. We did get a Romanian landing over here near Plymouth. The hope was to take that channel port and kind of distract them. We'll see if it succeeds or not. I mean, I think they'll be without any supply next turn, though. They don't have a port or anything. I guess we can use this turn to reinforce the German Air Force, make sure they're all at max strength, and the guys who already are, make sure that they've got the level 2 ground attack weapons that we've developed. Quite a few of our fighter units are pretty run down, so we can use a turn to get everything back up to strength. Okay. So we're going to get a few upgrades. We'll get a lot of reinforcements. Honestly, I don't know what the point of that was. All right. Okay. Those units all reinforced. Meanwhile, we'll move our subs down the channel, I guess. If only I could shoot across the channel. What a wonderful world it would make. Alright, these tanks. Actually, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that with them. These guys will reinforce. So we'll have more subs at full strength. Alright, so that's Western France. What about Norway? Nothing. Okay. I think this is going to be a really fast turn. We're advancing on Khartoum. We're moving our headquarters units south with armored units. Massawa will come next. We've taken Bombay, and we're threatening Delhi. The Japanese have broken through in the east. In the south, we're just kind of chilling. These guys... Alright, we're going to use this transport, if we can get it there, and there's a big if because there's a lot of subs between us and them, is to see if we can get a headquarters unit into Australia to start drawing better supply, and then maybe we can make something with these Japanese Marine units. We'll move these Kamikazes down here. And then, not to forget, the Argentine forces. Spend the better part of the rest of their lives maneuvering. Okay. All right. Oh, wait. There's one more unit over here. Moving to Shanghai. Did I move the wrong unit? Yes, I did. Didn't I? Wait. No, he guards. All right, no, they're good. All right, and that guy we just built. Okay. So I think that's going to do it for this turn. It's a bit of a shorter one, only about 21 minutes. But, you know, I hope it's not too much of a slog of a game at this point. I know the Allies already offered to basically surrender and leave the war. But it felt incomplete without retaking North Africa, without finishing the British Empire by taking India. It felt incomplete. So that's why we did what we did. But I'm worried now it's going to become a little bit of a slog. So we'll see how this series plays out. I wonder if we get another opportunity to get them to surrender or not. Meanwhile, purchasing of units. Is there anything we really want to buy with Germany? We can buy more heavy tanks. We have level 5 tanks now, by the way. Maybe we want to do that. Maybe we want to upgrade these guys. Level 5 tanks. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming something better. Okay. We're going to need to figure out a way to force a larger beachhead. Really, at the end of the day, it's air units wiping out multiple hexes worth of a beach so we can bring troops ashore. But I just don't know if we're ever really going to get that. These guys need to upgrade. I mean, the alternative would be like swing north and go after like northern England. The British have 49 units, 14 naval units versus 29 American naval units. Germany just bought a whole bunch more subs, though, so Germany's naval strength just got a little bit stronger looking. About 300 left in that. Honestly, we might as well improve something. What do we want to improve? Anti-sub, ground attack, long-range aircraft. I'm going to go with long-range aircraft. I need better range on those things. Fighters are already researched to level 5, so we can get some money back for both them and tanks. I'm going to invest more in amphib warfare, because that's what we're trying to do. And we've got 216 left. Heavy bombers? We don't really have any. Maybe rocket weapons? I don't know. I guess industrial technology. You can't go wrong with getting more money. Italy has 200 something. They're almost to level 2 infantry weapons. They already researched armored warfare, so they'll get that back. Alright, so 114. Aerial warfare there. Italy's investing 450, Germany's 1500, Japan is 1525. And that'll probably do it for this turn. So we're through November 1945. Germany's beachhead in England is still the same, sort of a token expedition on the boot of England, on the toe of England, to try and see what we can accomplish there. But overall, an interesting turn. India's on the verge of being overrun. That's the key takeaway from this turn, is an absolute and total breakout against the British forces in India, which if India falls, then I think honestly maybe what we do is just rush these guys to the coast, load them up on transports, and send them to like Mogadishu and Dar es Salaam and all these other bases along the coast. It'd kind of be interesting to try and get French, Vichy France on our side at this point too. Might not be a terrible idea, but we'll see. With that being said, reinforce that guy. With that being said, I think that'll do it for this turn, and we'll go ahead and sign off here. We'll see what happens next time, but until next time, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.